It really is a darn shame that Ezra Miller has so many personal problems right now and needs to seek professional help, because that means he has to quit playing the Flash. And this Flash movie makes me want to see him as Flash even more. I mean, this is a true comic book movie if I ever seen one. The ending alone is like something you'd see out of a comic book. Well, let's get to the beginning. Basically, Barry is down in the dumps because his dad's in jail and he's probably going to rot there forever. And his mom is dead. And as someone who only currently has one parent left, and she doesn't have a lot of time, most likely, I can relate to the pain of of losing one's parents. Not in a violent way, just in a general sense. But that happens to us all eventually. Anyway, he gets inspired to utilize a time travel ability that he accidentally discovered to try and change the past. Not directly, but subtly. He figures it couldn't hurt. Unfortunately, it does hurt. A lot. Specifically, Eric Stoltz ends up playing Marty McFly in Back to the Future. The horror! The horror! No, but seriously. He ends up stuck in 2013, 10 years prior to where he's supposed to be. And he has to not only deal with his younger self, who he realizes is a little pain in the butt, but also he has to figure out a way to get some superheroes together, including himself, after briefly losing his powers. Because at this point in time, General Zod showed up. So now he's got to assemble ad hoc Justice League to combat a small army of Kryptonians. And it is not easy. Miller's performance is fairly awesome. When he goes full superhero, he's basically flying by the seat of his pants. He's in full panic mode, and he's using that adrenaline to really fuel his abilities. Not to mention junk food, because if he burns up too many calories, he can't move fast. That's an interesting weakness. Just starve him out. But, unfortunately, in civilian mode, he's kind of pathetic. He's even more unable to talk to people than me, really. And that's saying something. When he's enthusiastic, he's obnoxious, but when he's calmed down, he's got problems communicating. So this is a fairly relatable Flash. Now let's get into the elephant in the room. Or should I say, the flying rodent in the room. Michael Keaton has returned as the G-Dang Batman. And it is awesome. It's like he never left the role. When we first see him, he's really looking like Crazy Steve. Shout out to those of you who get that reference. But when he dons the cape and cowl, he is still unbelievable. not only is Keaton still capable of playing the role decades after he made it famous, but he's improved the character. He's truly 100% equal parts Bruce and Bat. We also get to meet a new Supergirl, played by Latina actress Sasha Kale. Her name is Sasha, and her character circumstances are rather dark. And she's definitely not the Melissa Benoist Supergirl. She's been hardened by events, and while she does seem to have a soft side for Barry, she tries not to outwardly emote until some information pushes her into using her laser vision. Honestly, I kind of want to see this Supergirl in a standalone movie, or maybe even a TV miniseries streaming, because this Supergirl, while less personable perhaps than previous Supergirls, she, I don't know how to put it, she's just fascinating to watch. And she's definitely more entertaining than Henry Cavill could be at times. No offense to Henry. Basically, I kind of want to see Sasha's version of Supergirl make an appearance in the future. I hope they kept her on retainer, because let's just say certain events in the film might make it difficult, but if a good character is loved enough by the fans, then they can always come back. I'll just say that. As for the rest of the cast, Michael Shannon plays Zod again, and he's still pretty good in the role. Though he's still pretty one note. Kind of an emotionless cyborg, almost. And we get to see plenty of human characters who are a mixed bag, but they fill out the world pretty decently. We also get to meet Barry's mom, who is kind of a dork, and definitely someone you would fight tooth and nail to save. And let's just say, when her story comes to an end, here come the waterworks. I'm not going to spoil it, but I will say this: it really got to me. And while I'm not going to spoil any too many details, okay. While I'm not going to spoil too many details, I will say this: the cameos, OMG, the cameos. There's this one sequence that goes full on comic book crossover craziness, and it dives deep into comic book superhero movie lore. And for those of us who know the lore, it was a total nerdgasm. For those who don't know the lore that much, it'll be an interesting spot the face game and spot the voice game. So yeah, on to the effects. Visually, everything was stunning. Batman was Batman to the nth degree. Wonder Woman was there briefly, and she looked good. The look and feel of the Speed Force that Barry uses was impressive. And you sort of see how it all works. And when Barry time travels, it looks and feels like a black hole, which makes sense because when you hit the event horizon of a black hole, the laws of physics just go and time just goes and space just goes, and that's what I think Barry was sort of accessing at that point. And while there is no main villain per se, the look and feel of the primary antagonist that we end up seeing, who's not Zod, by the way, he's just a side note. But the primary antagonist, let's just say you understand why they look the way they look. And everyone and everything looks awesome overall. The story itself was about 2.5 hours, which flowed at such a good pace, it felt about an hour shorter, actually. So yeah, overall, The Flash was an amazing swan song by Miller, who I hope is going to get the help he needs so he can function in normal society. It brought back so many wonderful memories of heroes and villains past, and its message that you can't change fate and sometimes you have to let go is a message that we don't really like to hear but have to hear periodically, because there's a reason things happened the way they happened, and if you try to change things, you really don't know the consequences of what could happen. So yeah, good movie. See it now, wait for it to stream, your choice. Choose wisely. This is Mr. J signing out and reminding you, actors only play superheroes on TV, but those very same actors imbue deity level characters with a painful humanity that reminds us all that the key word in superhuman is human. Because anyone can be super, but it takes someone super to truly be human. Can't wait to see what else the DC multiverse has in store for us. See you out there.